At the beginning of this month, on 1st of February to be precise, I opined on this platform that the deep state was not keen on removing Governor Makwiny Sonko from office as the governor for Nairobi. Because by that time, the deep state had successfully impeached Governor Ferdinand Waititu from office. And Waititu had gone to courts. And I remember advising Waititu during that time also that he was wasting his time because the deep state was keen on sending him out. And in that video, I gave my reasons why I believed then and now that the deep state will not interfere with Makwiny Sonko. But they are keen on teaching him some political lessons. But I've observed what's happening in Nairobi, and I can only conclude that there is a group of members of the County Assembly of Nairobi who are keen on impeaching Governor Makwiny Sonko. But the question which I keep on asking myself, who is this guy behind this impeachment motion against Makwiny Sonko? Because Mike Sonko is not an ordinary governor. Mike Sonko is a wise man, for those who know. He's a guy who's gone through the University of Street and graduated with a bachelor's of life. So Mike Sonko is not someone you can easily push to the wall. But it seems this group of MCs are pushing Makwiny Sonko to the wall. And yesterday, very interesting things happened in Nairobi County. Number one, the MCS was supposed to initiate that impeachment process at the county assembly. But that did not happen. Why? Because number one, Mike Sonko convened a meeting of all members of county assembly of Nairobi from Jubilee side. He convened that meeting in his private office at Upper Hill. And that meeting lasted for the better part of the day, which means most of those members of the County Assembly of Nairobi could not be at the County Assembly at the same time. And that process did not kick off. But it didn't end there. After some time, a letter started circulating online. And that letter was penned by George Aladwa. And in that letter, Aladwa is saying that he received communications from the ODM party leader, Raila Odinga, to the effect that ODM members of that county assembly should not be party to that impeachment process. Let me just read for you the letter. The letter is titled Party Position on the Alleged Impeachment of His Excellency Makwiny Sonko, Governor, Nairobi County. It's dated 19th, 2020, February, which was yesterday. The letter reads, the above matter refers, and particularly the allegations that have been making rounds that our party has taken a position to support the alleged impeachment of His Excellency Governor Makwiny Sonko. I have been directed by the party leader, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, to advise the honorable members that the party is not supporting the move. Supporting is in capital and bold. Not supporting, note is in capital and bold. As such, you are hereby directed, note another capital, to vote and or append your signature on any proposed impeachment unless otherwise. Unless advised otherwise. Kindly be guided accordingly. The letter is signed by George Aladwa. George Aladwa is the ODM chairperson for Nairobi County. And it is interesting because this letter was addressed to David Mberia. David Mberia is the majority leader is the minority leader at the County Assembly of Nairobi. So the letter was addressed to him. The letter was also copied to the speaker and to the clerk. And all of these guys received this letter and stamped. Received and stamped. And then after some time, another letter came from Edwin Sifuna. And in Edwin Sifuna letter, it's saying the ODM party position on Nairobi governor. The party has become aware through social media of a letter allegedly written by Nairobi County Chair Honorable George Aladwa, purportedly directing ODM MCS in county assemblies not to endorse or participate in an impeachment process to remove Governor of Nairobi, Honorable Makwiny Sonko. We wish to make it clear that the party and the party leader do not and will not interfere with the power granted directly by the people of the county assembly in exercise of any of their functions, including oversighting the executive. We further remind all our members, and particularly our grassroots officials, that official communication on the party position on any matter is the responsibility of the party secretary general. Those two letters has actually dented the image of Raila Odinga. And I'm going to explain how the letters have dented the image of Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga must treat moving forward very carefully. Because if you won't treat carefully moving forward, then it's going to lose a lot of support. Number one, when I saw the letter of Aladwa, I asked myself several questions. Because I've stated here clearly that I was actively involved in ODM matters before. I'm no longer. But I looked at the letter by Aladwa and I asked myself a simple question. Why would ODM party allow Aladwa, who is just a branch chair, to issue a communication which is affecting the party and the party leader? And if you read the letter by Aladwa, we all know that that was not Aladwa's handwriting. That letter might have been written by someone. But I'm not ruling out the possibility of receiving a call from Raila Odinga, because Aladwa has been missing in action. I only saw Aladwa last weekend going to a church. For a very long time, I've not seen Aladwa in the political scene. But he surfaced with the letter. So when I read the letter, I was like, why is this happening? It didn't even take 1 hour. Then another letter from Edwin Sifuna. And if you read between the line, Edwin Sifuna's letter is basically contradicting George Aladwa. So why would the same political party issue contradictory statement on the matters of Nairobi? And why would Aladwa find it necessary to invoke the name of Raila Odinga on this letter? Because I'm sure Raila Odinga has an avenue of communicating with Mberia. Mberia is the current member, is representing Karen. Karen is where Raila Odinga comes from. So basically David Mberia is the MC representing Raila Odinga. And we all know, for those who follow the politics of Nairobi, we all know that the former minority leader is someone called Elias Ochieng. Ochieng was removed. Is it Elias Otieno? Sorry. Elias Otieno. Elias Otieno was removed from office by the ODM party. Why? Because this man was supporting Makwiny Sonko. So you see the contradiction. Elias Otieno was removed because he was supporting Sonko. Now ODM is now writing a letter supporting Makwiny Sonko and advising the guy they appointed, because the guy is not known to support Sonko, are writing for him a letter to support Makwiny Sonko. But how is this letter or this kind of letters going to impact on Raila Odinga? That's the question I know which most of you are asking. Number one, politics is always a game of perception. How is Raila Odinga being perceived after this letter? You all know that after the handshake between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, a lot of things changed in this country. The enemies, people who could not even share a podium or share a cup of tea publicly, began appearing in public together. And Raila Odinga started receiving visitors to his office. And I remember Raila Odinga receiving Anne Waiguru to his office. He received Mwangi Kiunjuri, the guy who has just been sacked, to his office. He received even several other cabinet secretaries to his office, including Mike Mbuvi Sonko. And outside there, there's a perception that Baba, whatever he says, that's it. So akisema bibi yako ni akona mimba, unaenda tu kuanza kununua pampers. So the moment these guys started going to Capitol Hill, a narrative was created that they were going to Capitol Hill to be cleansed. That uko Capitol Hill kuna muosho mmoja. Ukioshwa hata kama we ni mdati, you are corrupt, ukitoka hapo, you are just clean. So this kind of things is sending bad signal on Raila Odinga. So you must be very careful with this kind of signals, because now people believe that Raila Odinga probably Sonko went to his office. Because if you remember, those who are keenly following this Nairobi politics, towards early last week, Team Tanga had started a narrative that makes Sonko visited Raila Odinga in his office, which was not true. And they started claiming, because by that time it was clear that the state was not going to impeach Governor Sonko. So they were now advancing that narrative that the reason Mike Sonko was not going to be removed was because he went to Baba, akaoshwa. Because huko kuna omo na laundry. Mtu anatoka kama mengara kama pamba. So Raila Odinga should avoid such kind of letters. I mean, I'm not saying he should not direct his MCS. He can direct them. He can call them for a meeting. I mean, he can tell Aladwa to go and talk to them. But what was the essence of writing that letter? To serve what purpose? Or Aladwa wanted just to be on record? Because I'm sure next we are going to start seeing exchange between Aladwa and the Secretary General, who was right. That's number one. Number two, Raila Odinga for a long time in this country has always been known to be a guy who stands for the right of Kenyans. A man whose reform credentials were not being questioned. After this and several other instances, people have started questioning the reform credentials of Raila Odinga. That one, if you want to be honest, I know this video is not going to be popular with so many people, but Raila Odinga's credential is being questioned. I've talked to so many people, especially those in the civil society sector, who are supportive of Raila Odinga. And they've always told me that they no longer support Raila Odinga because Raila Odinga is someone who really don't believe on what he's saying. So a letter like this one erodes the gains and the image which Raila Odinga has built over the years. When you advise your MCS not to support, what does that tell you? Basically, you are influencing a debate at the county assembly. Raila Odinga is well aware that the state is not going to impeach Mike Sonko because of ABCD. He only needed to sit with his MCA and tell them that on this, we are going to do this. It ends there. But if a letter is written, and we are a guy who is known to stand for reforms, one of the reforms is that if a governor is not performing his functions, then he must be impeached. And your party has the potential of impeaching a governor based on that. And you're now stopping. Lastly, by that act alone, Team Tanga will now start going to any funeral and any church beginning on Saturday. And they'll start telling people that the war on corruption is political. Look at how Ferdinand Waititu was kicked out. That's what they'll be telling people. Mike Mbuvi Sonko is not being harassed, is not being kicked out because probably This is political. They don't want to kick him out. Or probably because Mike Sonko has bribed the political class in this country. So Raila Odinga must avoid such kind of confusion, because most Kenyans really look up to Raila Odinga. But this kind of behavior puts off a huge number of Kenyans from supporting him. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And by the way, the governor for Kiambu, James Nyoro, yesterday made changes to his cabinet. And in those changes, he appointed Joyce Ngugi, the wife to the former member of parliament, as his deputy governor. And in my view, that move is politically instigated. Moses Kuria must be our red man. The plan to replace him has already been initiated. So that's going to be my next video. So stay tuned. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want to just take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.